If you are an EB2 green card applicant, stop what you are doing and watch this video right now. The latest visa bulletin has just dropped, and there is a major movement in the EB2 category that could directly affect hundreds of thousands of employment-based green card applicants, including those born in India, China, and other high-demand countries. We are breaking it all down: what changed, who benefits, what the risks are, and what you need to do next. Stay with us until the end because the final section could be the most important thing you hear all year. Welcome back to Global Immigration Scope, your most trusted source for clear, accurate, and up-to-date immigration news from around the world. I'm your host, and today we are covering one of the most talked about developments in employment-based immigration. In recent months, a significant forward movement in the EB2 visa category, as reflected in the latest official visa bulletin released by the U.S. Department of State. Now, everything we discuss today is based on official government sources, including the Department of State's Visa Bulletin, USCIS policy updates, and established immigration law frameworks. This is not speculation. This is analysis grounded in facts. Let's get into it. First, let's quickly establish what the EB2 visa category actually is, so everyone is on the same page. The EB2 visa is an employment-based, second preference immigrant visa. It is designed for professionals who hold advanced degrees like a master's or a PhD, or individuals with exceptional ability in their field, whether that's science, arts, or business. There is also a special subcategory under EB2 called the National Interest Waiver, or NIW, which allows certain highly skilled individuals to petition for a green card without a job offer, as long as their work benefits the United States as a whole. Now, the critical thing about employment-based green cards is that they are subject to annual numerical limits. And because far more people apply than there are visas available, especially from high-demand countries like India and China, there are waiting lines, sometimes lasting years or even decades. This waiting line is tracked using what is called a priority date, the date your petition was originally filed. Here's how it works in simple terms. Think of the green card process like a queue at a government office. Your priority date is essentially your ticket number. The visa bulletin tells you how far the line has moved each month. When the bulletin says a category is current, it means the line has moved all the way forward, and anyone in that category can now apply for their green card regardless of when they originally filed. And that is exactly the kind of movement we are seeing or approaching in the EB2 category right now. According to the latest visa bulletin from the U.S. Department of State, the EB2 category has seen notable forward movement in its final action dates and filing dates. Here is the key breakdown. For EB2, all chargeability areas, meaning most countries of birth except India and China, the category has moved significantly forward, with some reports suggesting it is approaching or reaching current status. This means applicants from countries like Pakistan, the Philippines, the United Kingdom, Nigeria, and many others could be eligible to file or complete their green card applications much sooner than expected. For EB2 India, the movement has also been notable, though the category remains deeply backlogged due to the sheer volume of Indian nationals in the employment-based pipeline. However, even a few months of forward movement in the India EB2 final action date is considered significant news for applicants in that queue. For EB2 China, there has similarly been some forward movement again, not current, but progress that matters for applicants who have been waiting for years. Two dates that matter. In every visa bulletin, there are two different date charts you need to pay attention to. Chart of final action dates. This is the date that determines when USCIS can actually approve your green card, your Form I-485, also called Adjustment of Status. Chart B dates for filing. This is an earlier date that tells you when you may be eligible to submit your green card application, even if it cannot be fully approved yet. When USCIS announces that it will accept the dates for filing chart, which it does in certain months, applicants with earlier priority dates can file their paperwork sooner, lock in their place in line, and even access certain benefits like work permits while waiting. This distinction is critically important, especially for EB2 applicants right now, what current actually means. When a visa category goes current, it means there is no backlog for that group. Every eligible applicant can move forward with their green card process immediately. For most countries in the EB2 category, particularly those not subject to per-country backlogs going, current is a massive and welcome development. For Indian and Chinese EB2 applicants, the dates are still retrogressed, meaning years behind, but any forward movement is meaningful and worth noting. Why this movement happened. So why is EB2 suddenly moving forward? There are a few key reasons immigration analysts point to. First, unused visa numbers from other categories. When visas go unused in certain employment-based or family-based categories, those numbers can be redistributed within the fiscal year. USCIS and the State Department work to use as many visas as possible before the fiscal year ends on September 30th. Second, lower than expected demand in some EB2 subcategories or countries. If fewer applications come in from certain chargeability areas, it creates extra room in the numerical quota, and dates can move forward. Third, administrative adjustments and adjudication patterns at USCIS. Processing speeds, pending application volumes, and policy priorities all influence how the bulletin moves month to month. Which applicants are directly affected? Let's be very clear about who this movement most immediately helps. EB2 applicants from most countries, particularly those born outside India and China, who may now find themselves current or very close to it. EB2 national interest waiver applicants in low backlog countries who can now file their I-485 and access work and travel authorization documents sooner. Applicants already waiting whose priority dates are now within range either for filing or for final action. EB2 India and China applicants movement is positive, but the backlog remains multi-year. Do not stop planning long-term. Now, let's talk about what this movement actually means in real life for green card applicants. Faster green card. Finalization. For applicants from non-backlogged countries whose priority dates are now current, this is potentially life-changing news. It means you could receive your lawful permanent resident status, your green card, significantly earlier than previously projected. For many people, this means stability, certainty, and freedom, the ability to change jobs, start a business, travel freely, and build a long-term future in the United States without the uncertainty of a temporary visa. Earlier filing and work authorization. Even for applicants whose final action date has not yet been reached if USCIS accepts the dates for filing chart. In a given month, they may be able to file Form I-485 early and immediately apply for an employment authorization document, or EAD, and advance parole travel permission. This is significant because it means you no longer need to remain on an H-1B or other work visa to stay authorized. Your work and travel freedom can begin much sooner. Visa Bulletin Retrogression. Here is an important caution, and I want to be completely transparent with you about this. Visa Bulletin dates can and do move backward. This is called retrogression, and it happens when demand unexpectedly spikes, administrative patterns shift, or the State Department recalibrates the numbers. We have seen retrogression happen before, sometimes sharply and without much warning. So, while this forward movement is genuinely positive news, do not make irreversible decisions like resigning from a job or terminating a visa status based solely on where the bulletin stands in any single month. Always work with a qualified immigration attorney who can assess your specific situation. Manage expectations. For those in the India EB2 queue, and I want to say this respectfully and honestly, the backlog remains extremely long. Analysts estimate that at current consumption rates, the wait for some Indian EB2 applicants could still extend for many years. Forward movement is encouraging, but it should not create false hope about imminent resolution. Continue protecting your place in line, maintaining valid status, and exploring all available options. Outlook Point 1. End of fiscal year surge. We are in a period where the U.S. government fiscal year is either approaching its end September 30th or has recently reset. This is historically a time when the State Department and USCIS work to maximize visa number usage. If there are unused numbers in other employment-based categories, those can flow into EB2, which may explain this current forward movement and could sustain it for the coming months. However, once the new fiscal year begins, the quota resets, and dates can shift again. Applicants should monitor the bulletin every single month. Outlook Point 2. Policy environment. Matters immigration policy in the United States is never static. Administrative priorities, new executive directives, congressional proposals, and USCIS operational changes can all influence how the Visa Bulletin moves in ways that are difficult to predict with certainty. In the current policy environment, it is more important than ever to stay closely informed and legally protected. Outlook Point 3. Legislation on the horizon? There have been ongoing discussions in Congress about potential reforms to the employment-based green card system, including proposals that would eliminate per-country caps, which are at the root of the India and China EB2 backlogs. If such legislation were to pass, it could be transformational for millions of applicants. However, as of now, no such legislation has been enacted. We will continue monitoring and reporting as developments unfold. Outlook Point 4. Keep checking. Every month, the Visa Bulletin is released by the U.S. Department of State, typically during the second or third week of each month for the following month. You can access it directly at travel.state.gov, and I strongly recommend bookmarking that page. Your priority date and how it compares to the bulletin should be something you review every single month without fail. Let's bring it all together. The latest Visa Bulletin has brought meaningful forward movement in the EB2 employment-based green card category. For most countries of birth, particularly non-backlog nations, this movement brings applicants closer to or even into current status, potentially unlocking faster green card finalization, earlier filing opportunities, and critical work and travel benefits. For EB2 India and China applicants, while the backlog remains a long-term challenge, even incremental forward movement is a positive signal worth acknowledging. The key messages for today are these. 1. Check your priority date against the latest Visa Bulletin immediately. 2. Confirm with your immigration attorney whether USCIS is accepting the dates for filing chart this month. 3. Do not make irreversible decisions based on a single month's bulletin monitor every month. 4. Stay informed, stay compliant, and protect your place in line. Immigration is one of the most important journeys of a person's life, and you deserve clear, honest, and accurate information to navigate it. Thank you for watching Global Immigration Scope. Stay informed and subscribe for the latest immigration news and visa updates from around the world.